All right, so have you ever thought about like buying or selling a house?
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty big deal, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
financially.
huge, yeah.
It's a massive decision. And,
Hey,
you almost feel like you're stepping into this whole other world
a different world for sure.
with its own rules and stuff like
Like
that.
intimidating, yeah.
Yeah. So for this deep dive, we're gonna look at some common mistakes that people make when they're either buying or selling a house. So, we can help you guys avoid making those same mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
So, we've got some really good expert advice to help us with this.
Okay.
We've got Anthony Goosen. He's the principal and founder of Meridian Realty.
Oh, wow.
And this was featured in a report on March 24th, 2025.
Awesome.
So, yeah, let's jump into this and see what kind of mistakes people are making.
Sounds good.
So first, let's look at it from the buyer's perspective. So
Okay.
you wanna buy a house, and one of the first things you're gonna do is figure out how much you can afford. But Goosen says one of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't get pre-approval for a bond.
Oh, that's interesting. So they basically just start like browsing and
Yeah.
looking at houses without even knowing.
Yeah, they start dreaming. They start looking at listings and thinking, oh, I could live there. That would be amazing. And then they
Yeah.
go to the bank, and the bank's like, nah, you can't afford that.
Exactly. And that's got to be so disappointing.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. And you know what else Goosen says?
What's that?
He says it also puts you in a weaker position when you are ready to make an offer, because the seller,
Oh, I see.
they're going to look at you and they're going to be like, "Oh, do you even have the money?
Right. Are you serious?
Or are you serious? Can you actually afford this house?"
Makes sense.
Yeah, he says, quote, pre-approval not only gives buyers a clear budget, but also puts them in a much stronger position when making an offer.
Well, that's a good quote.
Yeah, so get that pre-approval first.
Yeah.
Okay, so another mistake that buyers make is they focus too much on the purchase price and they forget about all those hidden costs.
Hidden costs. What do you mean by that?
Well, there are a lot of costs associated with buying a house that aren't immediately apparent.
Okay.
So you've got things like legal fees,
Right.
you've got transfer duties, and then you've got ongoing maintenance costs.
I see.
Which can be, quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Goosen says that a lot of first-time buyers, they don't factor this in and they end up struggling financially.
That makes sense. Yeah.
He says, quote, many first-time buyers don't factor these in and find themselves in financial difficulty later.
So it's important to budget for those things right from the get-go.
Absolutely, from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so another mistake, and this one can be really costly,
Yeah.
is skipping the home inspection.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, the house looks great, it's fine. I don't need to spend the extra money on an inspection.
Yeah, you can save some money.
But Goosen warns against this.
Yeah, why is that?
Because there could be hidden problems,
Oh, like what?
like problems with the plumbing, the electrical, the roof,
Right.
the foundation.
Yeah, big things.
Huge things, yeah, that you don't know about until it's too late.
So what does he recommend?
He says, quote, always conduct a thorough home inspection before finalizing a purchase.
Okay, that's good advice.
It's way better to know upfront if there are any problems.
For sure.
So you can factor that into your offer or, decide not to buy the house at all.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now let's look at it from the seller's perspective.
Okay.
What kind of mistakes are sellers making?
Yeah.
Well, the first one, and this is a big one, is overpricing their property.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and Goosen says this is one of the quickest ways to deter buyers.
Makes sense.
He says, quote, setting an unrealistic price is one of the quickest ways to turn buyers away.
Yeah, because if you're just browsing, you're going to see that price and just keep scrolling.
Exactly. You're not even going to consider it.
Yeah.
And even if you do get some interest, you're probably not going to get serious offers.
Right. It's not going to be competitive.
Yeah. So a correctly priced home, it's going to attract more attention, it's going to attract more serious offers, and it's going to sell faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So how do you know what the right price is?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, it's all about the market.
Okay.
What are similar properties in your area selling for?
Right.
And that's where a good estate agent comes in.
Yeah, they can help you figure that out.
Exactly. They have all the data. They know what's going on in the market,
Yeah.
so they can help you set a realistic price.
Okay, good.
Okay, so another mistake that sellers make is neglecting repairs and presentation.
Oh, yeah.
So, you might have some peeling paint or a broken fixture or a messy garden,
Right.
and you might think, oh, it's no big deal, but buyers, they notice these things.
Yeah, first impressions are everything.
Absolutely, and it can make them think that the property hasn't been well maintained,
I see.
and they might be less likely to make an offer, or they might offer a lower price.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so Goosen says, quote, investing in minor touch-ups can significantly boost a home's appeal and help it sell faster.
So it's worth putting in a little bit of effort to make the place look nice.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to make it as appealing as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last mistake that sellers make is choosing the wrong estate agent.
Oh, okay. How do you do that?
Well, a lot of people, they just go with the agent who offers the lowest commission.
Oh, I see.
But Goosen warns against this
Yeah, why?
because a cheap agent might not be the best agent.
Right. They might not have the experience.
Exactly. They might not have the experience. They might not have the network. They might not be able to get you the best price for your property.
So you get what you pay for.
Yeah, pretty much. He says, quote, working with an experienced agent who understands the market can make all the difference.
That's good advice.
So you want to choose an agent who has a good track record,
Right.
who knows the market, and who you feel comfortable working with. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of mistakes that buyers and sellers make.
Yeah, we have.
But Goosen has some overall advice for both buyers and sellers.
Okay, what's that?
He says, quote, do your research, work with professionals, and take the necessary steps to protect your investment.
That's pretty solid advice.
Yeah, it is. And he ends by saying, quote, with the right approach, real estate transactions can be smooth and successful.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
So the key takeaway here is that buying or selling a house, it doesn't have to be a nightmare.
Right.
You know, if you do your research, if you work with the right people, if you're aware of the potential pitfalls,
Yeah,
you can make it a much smoother and more successful experience.
definitely good advice.
So what can you do right now to prepare yourself, whether you're thinking about buying or selling in the near future or even further down the line?
Yeah, it's never too early to start thinking about these things.